Yeah, hello all. Welcome to pantechelearning. First of all, good evening to one and all present here. Welcome to pantechelearning. So today we are going to see about heart disease prediction. Okay, we are going to see about like heart disease prediction using data mining technique. Okay, so we are going to see about heart disease prediction using data mining technique. Before entering into this webinar, I like to introduce myself. I am Kamalesh. I am from pantechelearning. I am working on a data scientist project like deep learning, machine learning, natural language processing, and so on. So today I am going to teach you how we can implement heart disease prediction using data mining technique. Okay, so this program is conducted by the Institution of Electronic and Telecommunication Engineers, IETE groups. Okay, and this is the title of today's webinar, heart disease prediction using data mining technique. So heart disease prediction, basically we know, for example, we will collect the data set of heart disease, and then like in the data set we will have some features of the patient, like health related features will be there, and based on the health related features we will have a supervised learning type of data set, like classification type, whether they will be attacked by heart disease or not. Okay, so this is we already know by using machine learning, and here we are using deep data mining technique. Okay, how we are going to apply the data mining technique is one of the most important thing. So that's why in today's session I am going to teach you how we can implement a data mining technique using this heart disease prediction. Okay, so for this I am having IEEE paper. First of all, we are going to analyze the IEEE paper. After analyzing the IEEE paper, we will get some objectives on existing system and proposed system, and then we will enter into the module of the project. Like we will have 3 modules, and after that module we are going to see about some related algorithms, and then we are going to see the project demo. Okay, so this what I am showing in this webinar, all the documents will be available in the description link. Okay, please check it out. And then yesterday's attend webinar quiz competition winner will be announced on in this webinar, end of this webinar. So please wait for the announcement. You will be get a special certificate. And even though for today's webinar we are having an quiz competition. Okay, so those who are attending that competition and those who are attending 5 out of 5 first 2 or 3 person, we will give the special certificate to that person. So for today's webinar, winner will be announced on tomorrow's webinar. Okay, so if you need, you can just check it out. And if you need certificate for this webinar, we have an attendance link will be posted on at the end of this webinar. You can use that attendance link and register your name, and you can check it out. Okay, so suppose if you have a own project ideas or own project implementation for your IEEE paper, means we are always welcomes you. Okay, we are having a separate link for that queries. Okay, queries related link in description. Okay, so just click that link and fill your form, and then type your queries. Okay, so that is type your project ideas. We will definitely contact you regarding this. Okay, so I think you all guys will be clear about this. Okay, so who are all attending this webinar, please subscribe the channel and hit a bell icon, and then we will enter into the webinar. Okay, so first of all, IEEE paper analysis. Here I already have IEEE paper. So the IEEE paper is, I think, yes, this one only. predictive diabetes diagnosis using data mining algorithm. Okay, so previously they used the data mining by using diabetes prediction. Okay, but in today's webinar we are going to use heart disease prediction. Okay, so what is the main aim of the existing system is the data analytics is used to obtain the useful insights from small or large data set to conclude the some useful information and also used for future recommendation and decision making. Okay, so the previously focused on decision making only, but the predictive analysis used on previous existing system is they are using machine learning technique only, but they used both clustering type and then supervised learning. Okay, so for example here you can see the predictive analysis in healthcare is primarily used to determine the patient having an initial stage of diabetes, asthma, heart disease and other critical lifetime diseases. They proposed the PDD. Okay, PDD is nothing but predictive diabetes diagnostic. Okay, use the data mining algorithm to predict the type 2 diabetes. Okay, so they applied the data mining algorithm in k-means algorithm and they predicted the how many number of clusters available in the data set. Okay, after finding the cluster they applied the random forest algorithm and they done the prediction result. Okay, but in this today's webinar we are going to apply some different type of classification type of algorithm and then we are going to dump the model, that is we are going to build one machine learning model. Within that model we are going to develop the real-time web application and we are going to predict an output result. Okay, so that is what we are going to do in our proposed system, but in existing system they use the k-means algorithm and random forest algorithm. Okay, so whenever if you see the analysis, okay, here you can see like they previously analyzed something and this is the diagram for analyzing k-means algorithm. First they are starting and select the number of clusters. The number of clusters we need to select in k-means algorithm means we need to use elbow method. Okay, so this is one of the method used to find the how many number of clusters available in your data set, and using elbow method and they will initialize the cluster center randomly and then automatically it will choose the closest path in your cluster head cluster and recalculate the new cluster center, and again it will be repeating until it will be reach the center of the cluster, that is centroid. Okay, generally they will call it as a centroid. If you have any clusters, your initial cluster points will be moved to the closest cluster and then it will be entered into the center, means that will be called as a centroid. Okay, so after it's finding the centroid and they are going to predict and result like how many based on the clusters they will be predict. For example, if we have two clusters it will be give a 0 or 1. Okay, so 0 means attacked person, 1 means not attacked person, like that. But here after they are predicting the k-means algorithm, they used the random forest algorithm. Okay, see guys, random forest is nothing but it's an upgraded of decision tree algorithm. Here you can see this is generally they will call as a decision tree algorithm, but in random forest the decision tree will be like this. Okay, cluster based decision tree. Okay, the random forest is an upgraded of decision tree algorithm only. So here cluster based decision tree, if you are doing and predicting the classification means that is called this one. Okay, so now I am going to use, okay, like I will show enter into the presentation. So now I am going to deploy our new proposed system. Okay, so before that we need to know, like to tell the agenda. Okay, agenda is nothing but like first one objective on existing system, literature survey, proposed system, block diagram, module explanation, UML diagram, algorithms and real-time project demo. Okay, so first objective, objective, the main aim of the project is using machine learning algorithm building the model for web application. Here I am going to use the Python language, and I am going to use a micro framework. The micro framework for web application is Flask. Okay, I am going to use the Flask, and I am going to show you the demo how we can dump the machine learning model and how we can predict the model. Okay, this is the objective. And existing system. So existing system only we see in IEEE paper analysis. They used all the type of classification problem and they predicted the accuracy score. All type of classification problem means they used random forest algorithm. Okay. Now literature survey. Okay. So literature survey is approach and review of user-oriented interactive data mining. That also I am having an IEEE paper. You just see the literature survey here. So this is the literature survey. So previously in literature survey they used like they exploring science. So while many data mining model will be concentrated on automation and efficiency, interactive and data mining model focus on adaptive and effective communication between human user and computer. Okay, so they try to implement the real-time data mining technique for human interaction and data mining technique. Okay, so they use like here you can see user oriented interactive data mining. Okay, so they previously used this technique, and it's I got a reference paper in this one only. Okay, so now what we are going to see in our today's webinar, that is important thing. Here we are going to proposing the best model to predict a result for web application. Okay, so generally in existing system they used only a random forest algorithm to predict an web application, to predict an output result whether they attacked by diabetes or not. But in this webinar, in this project we are going to propose the new technique, that is we are applying our data set to all the type of classification type of algorithm, and after applying we are taking any that is highest accuracy result giving algorithm as a model, and we are going to develop a web application. Okay, so block diagram. So block diagram is nothing but like, first of all we need to train the data. So in data set we are having both dependent value and independent value. Here independent value is nothing but our input. Based on the input only we are having a dependent value. Okay, so I will show you the data set to you, how data set will be contained. Here you can see this is our data set. Okay, so like age, sex, CP and BPs, cholesterol level, FBBS, like this we are having some data set, we are having some features. Okay, based on the future we are having an output column whether the person will be attacked by heart disease or not. Okay, so each and every row represent one person detail. Okay, so here we are having a totally 304 count value. Okay, in this 304 I am having a target 0, that is 138, and 1 is 165. Okay, so totally we are having this much data, and hopefully it's a balanced data set. It's not a imbalanced data set. Why? Because our data 0 and 1 will be almost 50-50. Okay, so if it is a imbalanced data set means whether the 0 will be as a majority and 1 will be a minority, otherwise 0 will be a minority, 1 will be a majority. Okay, so here it's a balanced data set. If you have an imbalanced data set, we need to apply some other technique like sampling technique, undersampling or oversampling, like that we need to do. So here we are having some balanced technique. Okay, so we are going to use this data set only to train the model. Okay, so here I am having 1 and 2. So generally I already told you we have a independent data and dependent data. So generally independent data is nothing but this is my independent data. Okay, so this is my independent data, and based on this we are going to predict an output result, that is called dependent data. Okay, independent and dependent. So now I am going to again I am entering into the presentation. So like what I told you, here also we have an architecture block diagram like this only, label and take input, and feature extraction. Feature extraction is like we need to check whether the data set will be, we need to do any feature scaling, or we need to do some categorical data into an numerical data, like that we need to do some process. Okay, even though feature extraction is we need to take some important features in your data set. Okay, so here I am having a lot of column, but we need to take some important column. Okay, that is called feature extraction. After I am taking the features, I am applying to the machine learning algorithm. Okay, after I am applying the machine learning algorithm, I will train the classifier, that is classifier model, whether it's a random forest or whether it's a SVM or whether it's a logistic regression or decision tree, any classifier algorithm I am going to classify, that is train the classifier algorithm. Then I will have a input data, again I am doing feature extraction, then after that I am applying to the classifier model, then I will get a output result. Okay, so this actually after I am training, I will have a trained model, right? Trained, if for example if you take a random forest algorithm, means after I am applying the trained data, the model will be trained properly and it will be in trained manner, right? So I am going to dump this trained model into one file. Okay, I am into one file. Using this file, I am going to develop one web application. Okay, using this file, I am going to develop an web application. Using this web application, I am going to input I am going to give all my features. Based on that future, my algorithm will be give an output result, whether the person will be attacked by heart disease or not. Okay, so this is the block diagram in this project. The next one, module explanation. Module explanation, here we are having a data collection and data pre-processing and then evaluation model. Okay, we are having a totally 3 module explanation, like data collection, data pre-processing and evaluation model. Evaluation model, we have 2 classification result evaluation. We will see one by one, line by line. Okay, so first one, data collection. Data collection is generally we are collected from the data of Kaggle website. Okay, so it's a free open source. We are downloading the data set from Kaggle only. Okay, and based on that we are going to implement our ML model. Okay, so that is called data collection and data pre-processing. So data pre-processing is one of the most important technique in machine learning. Why? Because the training machine learning algorithm and getting an output result accuracy score and all, it's a easy thing, but preparing your data set is the toughest one. Okay, so for example, if you take any type of data set, you need to check whether your data will have a categorical value or not, otherwise whether your data will have a text data or not. Okay, if it is a categorical data, you need to convert the categorical into an numerical. If it is a text type of data, you need to convert, that is you need to do some back of words technique, okay, to convert into a vector. So like that and all we need to do. For that purpose, its data pre-processing is most important technique. Okay, So here you can see the most important three techniques in data pre-processing is formatting, cleaning and sampling. So first of all, what is formatting? Formatting is nothing but for example, if you have a data with improper manner, okay, if you have a data with text file, or if you have a data with improper manner, means you need to suppose you need to format the whole data. If it is a important, means you need to do some manipulation. If it is a not important, means you need to format that particular data. Okay, so like a relational database, okay, that is called formatting. And cleaning is nothing but removing or fixing the missing data. Okay, so suppose for example some columns will be have a null values in your dataset, means you can remove the entire row. Okay, it may be suppose if you have a minimum amount of dataset, means removing the entire column is not a that is it was somewhat complex. Okay, so better you can fix the null values. How you can fix the null values means finding the mean value of that column, okay, and you can fix the null values. Otherwise you can enter the mean value and you can fix it. Otherwise you can use 0, okay, so to fill the null values. Okay, so like that we need to do. Suppose if your dataset having a more amount of entry, okay, you can remove the entire row itself. Okay, it's not a big issue. Okay, so that is called in data pre-processing cleaning technique. And sampling. So sampling I already told you. Okay, so sampling is nothing but for example if you plot a graph, the graph comparison between your attacked, that is heart disease attacked person and not attacked person will be like this, means you need to do undersampling or oversampling. Okay, undersampling or oversampling is nothing but like if you want to do undersampling, means the majority class we need to reduce, that is we need to reduce equals to the minority class. Okay, that is called undersampling. Oversampling is nothing but you need to duplicate the data that equals to the majority class, that is called oversampling. Okay, but in our case of our data set, our data will be in the form of like this only. Okay, so we don't need to apply the undersampling and oversampling. So these are called as a pre-processing technique. Okay, the next thing, evaluation model. So after you are done like future engineering and future scaling. Future engineering means we need to select some particular data, or we need to select some important attributes, okay, by applying some library package like CHI2 or some other package. Then you need to do the next process, like those things and all we need to apply. Okay, so but here we need to evaluate the model, means after you done all the performance, before that you need to train your algorithm. Okay, during training time, if it is an algorithm is accept your data, then it will be perform your data, that is it will be try to fit the line. Suppose if you are using a support vector machine, means it will be try to predict and support vectors by using hyperplane. It will be find the support vectors, then it will be give the output support vectors. Okay, suppose if you are using a logistic regression algorithm, means we need to use a regression line to fit the data. Okay, so fitting data is important. Okay, during fitting time it will be leads to underfitting or overfitting. Okay, so underfitting is nothing but algorithm during training time learn properly. Underfitting is nothing but algorithm during training time algorithm won't learn properly. Okay, so if algorithm won't learn properly, means whatever data you are giving, it will be predicted as output. Okay, and overfitting is nothing but algorithm will learn properly as a higher. Okay, whenever you are giving an out of syllabus type of questions, that is input data, means it will be given output result somewhat different manner. Okay, so that is the use of underfitting and overfitting. So always whenever you are training your model, it should be in a generalized fitting. Okay, so that is the important. And the next one, to avoid overfitting, both the methods are used to test set. And to avoid overfitting and underfitting, we need to use the cross validation technique. Okay, suppose if you are having a data set like this, you will be divide your data set, like for example I will dividing the data set 3 part. Okay, so first 2 part will be, first I will train to the algorithm, and first part will be given as a test data, and the next probability I will use the first 2 part will be to train the algorithm, and the last part will to test the data, and next probability we need to use first part and last part. Like that I will be shuffle my training data and predicting an output result. Then model will learn properly, and then it will be give the output result properly. Okay, so that is the use of cross validation. So after evaluation model, I am going to show you UML. So UML is nothing but data set collection. We already have a data set, and we need to do pre-processing, and after pre-processing we need to divide our dataset into 2 types: train dataset and test dataset. Okay, train dataset and test dataset. So train dataset and test dataset nothing but like we need to divide our dataset and apply the random selection. That is, we need to train the algorithm. After training the algorithm, we need to extract the future and apply the algorithm. Then classify your accuracy result. This is the UML diagram, and then algorithm. So here I am going to use same random forest algorithm only, and we are going to check whether it's working properly or not. Okay, so for example, for prediction type of thing, apart from the random forest, we have naive Bayes, and we have support vector machine, and we have decision tree algorithm. Then finally I am getting the highest accuracy result for random forest algorithm. Okay, so that's why we are using this one. And what are the inputs available? Input parameter in random forest algorithm means like this, like a minimum speed or speed criteria. Like this, we are having some input. So next we will enter into the project demo. Okay, and I will show you how we are going to implement the process. So for that purpose I am going to use Jupyter notebook. Okay, so I am opening my Jupyter notebook. In Jupyter notebook I am show you how we previously trained our model. Okay, how I dumped my model by applying the. So for this purpose I am going to 2020 and then heart disease. Heart disease and heart disease GUI. Here you can see I am having an yes. So here I am having some analysis codes, everything. Okay, so based on this only I am going to dump my model. So first of all I am back to my first line of code. Here I am importing the pandas, numpy, matplotlib to plot a graph, pandas to read the CSV file, and numpy numerical python, and then cban to also combination of to plot the graph. Okay, so first I done this one. Next one I am going to read my dataset. So the dataset which I showed you, this is the dataset. I am going to read by applying PD. PD is nothing but pandas. Okay, so I am using pandas. I am going to read. After reading the data I am going to check using head. Okay, head is the function to display first file. For example, suppose if you need to print even one also within head function, if you are giving 1, it will be give the first input data. Okay, so here we have information of attribute like age, sex and chest pain type. That is CP is nothing but chest pain. Okay, here we have TREST BPS, right? So that is resting blood pressure. So like this we are having some attribute information. If you need means you can take a screenshot and check it out. Then here totally I am having an 303. I'm checking the information. So why I am checking the information means, suppose if your data, if you have a data in object type, okay, object data type means we need to convert it into an integer or float type. So that's why I am using here information to check whether it having an object type. So all the data in the form of int and float only. Okay, all the data will be in the form of int and float only. So we don't need to change any things. Okay, then here I am using describe function. Why I am using describe means, I already told you, if you have an null values means you can fill by applying the mean value. Okay, for example, suppose the null values will be available in this column, cholesterol column. We need to check the mean value and we can fill the null values instead of that 2, 4, 6 like that also. Okay, that is the use of this one, describe function. And here I am getting a df.shape. Shape is nothing but how many rows and how many columns in your dataset. Okay, so here I am having some plotting graphs like exploratory data analysis. Using this I am going to plot. So this count plot is nothing but it's a type of Seaborn plotting graph. Okay, so use it to plot a graph by giving your attribute name. For example, suppose if you need to check the age also, you can check by applying the here. Okay, for example, you can see I am going to change age. If I run this cell, I am getting an output for age. Suppose if you need to check an target, you can check a target. Okay, so here I am having a 0 as a target, nearly 140, and one target will be a 160 above. Okay, so that is the use of count plot. And like same thing here, you can see I am checking for gender. Okay, so 0 means male and 1 means female. Okay, wait just a minute. For that purpose only I am having a detail. Here I am not having, right? Okay, so it's fine. And here I am going to use count plot for age, and then here I am going to checking whether I have a outliers or not. Okay, so here you can see I am having some outlier data in cholesterol. Okay, more than 500. Generally it will be a minimum 400 only, 400 above only, but here more than 500 above. Okay, so I am getting some outliers. So basically what is outlier means, for example, you can take this part. Okay, anything, yeah, here you can see. So for example, outlier is nothing but for example, you will have some set of numbers like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and suddenly you are having a number 100. Okay, so basically if you see these numbers, you will be comes to know which one is outlier. Okay, this is the outlier. Compared to this data, I am not getting this one. This is somewhat change, different number, right? So this is called outlier. These outliers and all I don't need. Okay, so I can remove by applying a z-square. We have some other technique also. Okay, by applying that method we can remove those outliers. Okay, but here I am not removing, but just I am showing you what is it, what is this outlier. Okay, after this I am going to, like, this is correlation graph. Okay, we can that is histogram graph, sorry, not a correlation, histogram graph. We can, even though you can use this and you can see the variation of your graph. For example, previously I am getting an outlier by comparison of target and cholesterol, right? So here we will see the cholesterol. Where is that cholesterol? Okay, so here you can see, here in this map also we can check the outliers. Okay, so here all the data will be somewhat related to 100 to 400, but suddenly we are having 600 amount of data. So this is generally called as the outlier. Here we are having some, this is also fine, but every data will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Here also it's fine only. Okay, and here also it's fine. Totally we have 0 or 1 data, but here we are having some unimportant data, that is 6, right? So in old peak we are having 6, and here also we are having, I think so. Why? Because here we have higher amount of data, but here I am having only data. So this also some outliers. So like this you can check the outlier by applying this histogram graph also. Okay, so like this you can analyze. Then here we are having a correlation graph. Okay, correlation graph is nothing but if you need to find the important features in your data set, you need to apply this method. Okay, here in right corner I am having a graph from 0 to 8. So when I am having a dark color, the relation between those two attributes will be important. Okay, so that is the general meaning of correlation graph. Here you can see, you just see the either upside of the diagonal or either downside of the diagonal. Okay, here for example I am seeing the downside of the diagonal. I am getting some thickest value here, right? For example, I am taking, here is my thickest value, that is BP, that is stress PP, BPS and age is important. Comparing these two feature is important. Okay, so like this I can select some important feature by applying this correlation graph. Okay, so like this we need to analyze some part. So what I am till now we seen, that is called exploratory data analysis. We can analyze the data by applying this type of techniques. Okay, after you done this one, we are going to divide our data set, train and test fitting. That is, I am extracting my data. Okay, what is the data I am going to extract here means target not equal to target. That is, I am taking independent value in x variable and dependent value in y variable. Okay, so that is the basic difference, independent value in x variable and dependent value in y variable. Okay, so now I am going to apply the classifier here. This is also one of the most important technique. Why? Because in correlation I can see the things, but here I can see the score value. Okay, here for me it's difficult to find which one is important, but if you are applying the extra-tree classifier in ensemble technique, you will be get an output of, that is score value of each and every features. Okay, so here 0.8, that is last one is important, and 0.9 this also important. So like this we can get a score values. Okay, so here if you wanna select some features in this data set, you need to select the important features like CA, EXANG and CP, old peak. These are some of the important features. So like this way you can find this gender column and cholesterol column and age column are not an important one. You can remove in your data set also, so it's not a issue. Okay, so like this you can find. Here I am going to selecting some important feature, and after selecting I am dividing the data set into two type, like 20% of train data and 80% of test data. Okay, so after I am applying this 20% and 80%, I am going to train my model. First model is naive Bayes model, I am applying for navy bias model. I am getting an accuracy score 85%. And the next model I am going to apply for random forest classifier, and I am getting an output result 0.83. And the next model I am going to apply for decision tree classifier, and I am getting 0.80. Okay, so the last model support vector machine SPM, and I am getting less accuracy score 0.59. Okay, so comparatively I am getting a highest accuracy score value for navy bias only. Okay, so I am going to dump the model navy bias model. Okay, I am going to dump my navy bias model here. Okay, I am going to dump my navy bias model here. So after dumping the navy bias model, I will be get an pickle file here, model.pickle. Okay, so after I am training I am comparatively from all the algorithm, I am getting a highest accuracy score for navy bias. So I am taking as a model.pickle file as a navy bias, and using this only I am going to run my app. App is nothing but it's a Flask. Okay, using Flask I am going to play. Okay, so first of all I am importing some basic packages, and here I am giving the name of my application name. The name of my application name is app only. Okay, so if you want to create your name also, you can create it, it's not a big issue. And after that I am going to load my dumped model. Okay, model.pickle file, and here I am applying the root. Okay, that is at app is nothing but at app. Whenever I am running my output, whenever I run my Flask application, my main root is this one, only single slash, that is localhost slash. That's it enough. Localhost is here nothing but ID. Okay, so I will tell you, I think that is port number. Okay, 127.0.0.1.8000. I think like that it will become. So that is port number. Whenever I am starting my app, the root is this one only. Okay, so it will be render the template of index.html. So here I already have a template, index.html, templates, index.html. So this is the templates I am going to use for my app. Okay, so that's why it's showing like this, index.html. Then next one I am going to enter the root next. For example, if I click the button in my web application, it will be entered into the predict root, then it will be post all the method to my pickle file. Okay, that is the pickle file is saved in model. It will be post everything in my model, then model will be predict an output whether it's a 0 or 1. This 0 or 1 will be displayed in the HTML file. Okay, this is simple thing guys. Okay, you can see this is simple Flask application development. So I'm going to execute this one and I will show you how it's working. Okay, so first of all, for that purpose I need to open Anaconda prompt command box. Up to this, anybody have any doubt, you may ask in our comment section. I will be explain you. And moreover, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and hit a bell icon. You will be get a notification, and each and every day we are posting some project awareness program. And today's session attendance links available. If those who are need certificate for this webinar, you may fill the attendance link. Those who are enter into the quiz competition, and if you are cleared the questions 5 out of 5, you will be get a special certificate. The quiz link will be available on description. And if you have any other project queries, your own project queries, you may use the project queries link and then you can apply it. And Just wait a minute, I will show you how to execute the code. First of all, I need to activate my environment, that is new environment. Okay, activate new. Then next I am going to copy the path of my file. Copy and cd dot space paste, then python app.py. So when I am run this cell, I am going to get some link. Okay, so this is my port link, http 127.0.0.1.5000. okay, I am going to copy this link and paste it in our comment section, sorry, not a comment section, sorry, I am pasting in the new tab. Then I am getting a Flask prediction. So here I am applying some random numbers, 32, 2, 2 and 23, cholesterol 23, just a random numbers. Okay, like 4. So I will be get a predicted output result. Okay, so whenever you are creating your own, you will be get an output result. See here guys, previously I run the route, this one only. Okay, so this is our main route, right? So for that for this page, this code line will be work. Okay, whenever you are clicking this predict button, like if we need to fill some data, after filling the data, automatically it will be enter into a predict. Okay, automatically it will be enter into the predict, that is this code line. So this is the way you can build your web application using data mining technique. I hope everybody will enjoy this session, and I need to tell the yesterday's webinar quiz competition winner, Day 13, image technography based on KLSB using MATLAB. For this, these are the 5 winners, top 5 winners from Goa and Gulbarga and Augustus, like Vellalar College of Engineering and Technology, Anusya. So these are the persons attending and getting special certificate from us. Okay, so those who are, for these members particular, they will receive the certificate to the mail ID. Okay, congrats winners. And our service is projects, final year project, mini project and research project, and then training, internship training, certificate training, STP workshop, FDP. Okay, products, lab kits, hobby kits, IoT modules. And thanks for this attending wonderful webinar with pantechelearning. And here our branches available like Chennai, Coimbatore, Trichy and Vijayawada, Hyderabad. Okay, so which are the branches is nearby, you just contact the person, they will help you. Okay, so thank you all, thank you for attending this wonderful webinar. You will see on another one nice session. Thank you guys.